a year 2020 has been for cricket, hasn't it? Began with such expectation, the cricket calendar full, and then all of a sudden it just stopped for a bit. But only to be back stronger, more innovative, and action packed than ever before. CricketNews.com and the CricketNews.com podcast with me, Sumedhh. We too had a great season 1 at the beginning of the year, but we came back even stronger with season 2, getting in a whopping 300,000 listens in season 2, taking our listenership to 400,000 listens in 2 seasons. And we have to say a big thank you to all of you for making that possible. Now that the league is over and we're transitioning towards another calendar year of cricket, it's a good time to sit back and recall the top 5 moments. It's a hard task to do, but we've had such incredible times on this podcast with all of these incredible guests on air, but I'm going to give it a try nevertheless. So here are the top 5 moments from season 2 of the CricketNews.com podcast. Alright, at number 5, I've got lifelong CSK fan and a dear friend of mine in Akhil Prakash speaking about the emotion of being a CSK fan and an MS Dhoni fan. He spoke with such great passion and that's what makes this so special. And he spoke about why MS Dhoni was such a great fit for Chennai. And I've picked this right at the beginning because the emotion of being a fan is such an important factor in sport, and especially in cricket, and especially in the league that we're talking about. So Akhil's emotions explain that so very well, and I really like this conversation with him. So let's play that clip and you'll know what I'm talking about. Take a look.
And what about Mahendra Singh Dhoni, from the very beginning, sort of ensured that the city embraced him as their captain and then later as their thala?
Yeah. So just sort of was thinking about this myself while you were just asking this question. Over the years, you've never seen MS really try hard to be accepted. He's never tried to speak in Tamil. He's never really tried to go out of his way to sort of belong. And yet, I think he belongs more than a lot of people who sort of belong from Chennai and Tamil Nadu as well. Um, I think he's just adapted this city and adopted it completely. He himself keeps saying in so many interviews that CSK and the move to CSK in 2008 just changed his career for the better. It obviously taught him so much, like you said, right? There's obviously then there's off the field stories of MS, taking his bike for a spin on the Marina Beach Road early mornings in Chennai. I've not managed to catch a glimpse of that, but I do recall a lot of people telling me about that. I remember he's famously his bike I think broke down in front of the stadium, and he just asked, look, what does he do? He's the captain of India. He's the captain of the Chennai Super Kings. He's probably the guy that's going to be hounded on the streets. Yes, his bike's broken down. He's not got security. What does he do? He walks into the sports shop there, and he himself says, it's a sports shop where I think I'm the safest because it's sort of, where I can feel me being safe. He walks in casually. He, turns up. He tells the owner, my bike's broken down. Can you just drive me to the team hotel? Where else do you see this? Where else do you see this? I'm just, that story just tells you that he, right from the word go, ahead, just made the city his own. He never really waited to be accepted, but he accepted the city, and then the city obviously gave him so much and continued to give him so much love back. And just those sort of things, man. I can't explain that feeling, but he, for me, I think he took to the city. He didn't wait for the acceptance to come back, but he knew that this was his home when he got here in 2008, and it continues to be so even after so many years.
Yeah, I love this chat because there's so much emotion and so much of love that Akhil has for that franchise. And I also loved it because there's so much of love that we got because of this episode, because it was around the time where we were all anticipating the return of MS Dhoni, and so much of you really like listening to these stories. Moving on, at 4 is South Africa international and former Kings 11 and Mumbai Indians pacer Buren Hendricks, who joined me to talk about what it is like for foreign players to be part of the IPL in India. Buren spoke about the experience of experiencing the culture in Punjab for the first time in the IPL and how he dived into the experience which made him a better cricketer. Take a listen.
The whole experience of coming to Punjab, right? It's a different ball game, right? To be in Punjab or be surrounded by Punjabis. They're one of the most fun-loving, loud, strong people in the country. How's that like for you?
Yeah.
Coming from South Africa, being a part of the Punjabis, that must have been some cultural shock for you, I'm sure.
Not really. I really enjoyed it. I didn't see it as a cultural shock. When we landed or when I landed in India, we didn't start in Mohali. We started off in Mumbai, I think.
Yeah.
Because I came a little bit late due to international duty. And obviously moving from the big cities to Punjab, I actually enjoyed it there. Really, like I enjoyed the culture, I enjoyed the people, the cities. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, having that experience of being in the big city and being around, all this. It's quite fast. It's fast paced. India. It was a real. It was I wouldn't say a cultural shock, but more along the lines of, a different culture, different culture, different experience. So yeah, it was pretty good to experience that. The culture is so lovely. Honestly, it's everybody's just so nice and welcoming, and they embrace my culture as I have to embrace theirs, and that's something I had to learn as well. I only knew my culture at the time because I didn't travel a lot at that age. And it didn't take me too long to embrace the culture. But when I did, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was something, I hold dear to me.
Now, the only question that remains to be asked is, did you try the food? Did you try the food?
I tried everything.
What?
I tried everything.
Really? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. Whatever people gave me, I tried it. It was so good.
That's really nice to know.
Now, my favorite is the breakfast.
Did you have parathas? Did you have parathas? I'm sure you had aloo parathas. Like they were. I'm sure it was bread stuffed with potatoes, slightly yellowish in color.
Yes.
There you go. You had aloo parathas. That too with butter, a lot of butter on top.
Yes. yes. I've had it all, honestly. I was. I shouldn't have had so much. I think I picked up a few kgs because of that. But thoroughly enjoyed it. And
there's no such thing as too many aloo parathas. I mean, all the Punjabis listening to this will tell you that, honestly. I have to say this. You don't find a lot of foreigners who'll take to Indian food, right? They'll always stay in their zone. They'll be like, hey, I'll have my parathas. Yeah, but it's great that you did that.
A guy like David Miller, he's very much into different cultures, and he loves just embracing everything. So I actually learned that from him. I just tried to have what he had, and then whatever a waiter would sort of give me, I would take it on. So yeah, there are guys that love to embrace the culture. A lot of them, and then there are guys that do stick to their own, if I must be honest.
Number 3 brings me to Manvinder Bisla, who joined us for a few episodes to preview the all-important playoff games and was such a big addition to the team at Cricket News during the league. Shout out to Manvinder Bisla, you've been brilliant. But he also joined us on an episode to talk about what it is like for young Indian players to take to the league at a young stage, the glitz and glamour that follows, and more. Take a listen.
आपकी सोशल फॉलोइंग बढ़ रही है, there's good money coming in, सब कुछ मतलब टीवी पे आप दिख रहे हैं, सडनली आपके लोकल टाउन में, आपके लोकल जिले में या विलेज में या टाउन में आपके पोस्टर्स लग रहे हैं. तो how does a young player feel in a time like this? और आपने कैसे हैंडल किया इस चीज को, when you just began entering in the IPL and when you just started breaking out?
I think जो आप डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट और आईपीएल की बात करते हैं तो डिफरेंस बहुत बड़ा है, बहुत मेजर डिफरेंस है. क्योंकि आप जब डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट खेल रहे होते हैं तो कोई आपकी टीम में कोई बड़े नाम हैं तो 3-4 हजार लोग मैच देखने के लिए, फैंस आ जाते हैं मैच देखने के लिए. लेकिन जब आप आईपीएल में आते हैं तो स्टेडियम बिल्कुल फुल होता है जी. हजारों की तादाद में लोग मैच देख रहे हैं, उसको आपका नाम चीयर कर रहे हैं. और जब आप अच्छा भी करना शुरू करते हैं तो वही सोशल मीडिया पे आप बहुत फेमस हो जाते हैं, फैन्स आपके बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं और वो सब चीज़ें फिर आपके ऊपर प्रेशर लेके आती हैं। जब मैं किंग्स इलेवन के लिए खेल रहा था, तो उसके अंदर बहुत सारे प्लेयर्स ऐसे थे कि जो जिनके साथ मैं खेला था या जिनको लगा कि नहीं यार ये अच्छा प्लेयर है और ये यहाँ पे अच्छा कर सकता है। जैसे युवराज युवी पाजी ने मेरी काफ़ी हेल्प करी थी किंग्स इलेवन में। उन्होंने मुझे उस साल ट्रायल पे भेजा था कि नहीं तू वहाँ पे जा और तू अगर अच्छा करेगा तो दे विल गिव यू अ चांस। तो मेरे प्रैक्टिस मैचेस वगैरह अच्छे गए थे। जब मैं टीम में गया तो उन्होंने मेरे से बहुत बात करी फर्स्ट मैच से पहले। देन इरफान मेरे साथ अंडर 19 वर्ल्ड कप में इकट्ठे थे।
जी
अंडर 19 के हम लोगों ने इंग्लैंड टूर पे भी इकट्ठे थे। तो इरफान ने काफ़ी मेरे हेल्प करी कि नहीं यार इतना डिफरेंस नहीं है। जब मैं कर सकता हूँ इस लेवल पे आके तो तू भी कर सकता है। मैंने तेरे को देखा है अच्छा खेलते हुए। तो उन्होंने काफ़ी मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस बूस्ट किया। देन धीरे-धीरे हमारे मुझे याद है कि महिला जयवंत ने और संगकारा का भी काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट रोल था। संगकारा कैप्टन थे और महिला भी उस टीम के एक लीडर के रूप में थे। तो उन्होंने भी काफ़ी मुझे मतलब वेलकम किया उस ड्रेसिंग रूम के अंदर और हमेशा अच्छी बातें सिखाई और मतलब कभी भी लगने नहीं दिया कि मुझे कि यार कि नहीं ये कोई बहुत बड़े इंटरनेशनल प्लेयर्स हैं और मैं डोमेस्टिक प्लेयर हूँ। तो उस जो ब्रिज को था बहुत उन्होंने उनकी तरफ से बिल्कुल कम कर दिया था कि आपको कोई भी बात करनी है तो जाके आप उनसे बात कर सकते हैं। नॉर्मली होता है ना किसी भी डोमेस्टिक प्लेयर के लिए सबसे बड़ा तो एक अगर आप पॉइंट कहेंगे तो ये हो सकता है कि यार मैं इस मुकाम पे आके कुछ कर सकता हूँ कि नहीं कर सकता, क्योंकि मैंने इतनी पेस को कभी नहीं खेला है और मैंने इतने
जी
लोगों के बीच में आके कभी मैच नहीं खेला है। तो ये
जी
दो बहुत बड़े फैक्टर रहते हैं। अगर जैसे मैं बैट्समैन था तो मैं तो यही सोचता था कि यार स्टेडियम फुल होगा, कैसे लगेगा, पहली बॉल दिखेगी
प्रेशर
भी नहीं दिखेगी अगर कोई तेज गेंदबाज होगा तो, क्योंकि पेस का बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस है। और आईपीएल का सबसे अच्छी जो अगर बात करेंगे तो यही बात है ना कि आप किसी भी प्लेयर से या आप कितने भी बड़ा प्लेयर हो, किसी लेजेंड हो, आप उनसे बहुत जल्दी मिल सकते हैं, उनसे बातें शेयर कर सकते हैं, उनको बहुत कुछ सीख सकते हैं उनसे।
on and off the field both.
Now, the top two, and this was one of cricketnews.com's achievements in our short history. Former England captain and now broadcaster Kevin Pietersen joined us on the podcast. KP was such a sport, and safe to say, he thoroughly enjoyed being on the show to talk to us about a whole bunch of things in build up to the final. Here's KP picking his team of the season. You do not want to miss out on this.
We got me for you got me to get an 11. KL Rahul and Shikhar Dhawan are going to open for me. KL Rahul is 670 runs, I think he got in the tournament. Shikhar Dhawan, Shikhar Dhawan's got 603. He'll add to that. Virat Kohli, you can't go past Kohli and De Villiers in that middle order. That is just that combination, that batting partnership. You just cannot go too far away from it. I'm going to have Marcus Stoinis at 5. Stoinis bowls. He's an overseas option and he can give it an absolute tonk, and I think that he's matured into a role this year and he's done really nicely. Sanju Samson, I love Sanju Samson. Sanju Samson's got 375 runs this season. I think that he is a fabulous stroke player. I think that he's one of the real good Indian talents, and I wish that he plays more for India. Shreyas Iyer is my guy. He's going to be in the middle order as well. We can fluctuate to where he bats. I just like him. I just had to get him into my team because I think he's fabulous. And then I'm going to go with Chakravarti. Chakravarti is a spin option. Ravinder Chahal. Yuzvendra Chahal is going to be another spin option for me. And then my two paces are going to be Bumrah and Rabada. So that's my 11. KL, Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, Marcus Stoinis, Sanju Samson, Shreyas Iyer, Chakravarti, Bumrah, Rabada, and Yuzvendra Chahal. How's that?
That's a brilliant team. That team would take down.
I wanted to get a left armer in there. I wanted to get Natarajan in there as the left arm. I wanted to get him in there, Natarajan. I just couldn't fit him in, man. I just couldn't fit him in. I may have Natarajan's going to be my 12th man.
And at numero uno, it's KP yet again, who was candid and honest on the show to clearly put out his prediction, or if you'd like, his support for his beloved Delhi franchise in the league. Delhi might not have gone on to win the league, of course, but KP's honesty on the show did go on to win plenty of hearts indeed. To be precise, 200,000 of you. Yes, that's right. We had 200,000 or 2 lakh listens for the Kevin Pietersen podcast, and we couldn't be more grateful. Here's KP at his best, wearing his heart on his sleeve, as he always says. Go on, take a look. Again, come on, KP. Give us a fair assessment of what you think is going to go on.
Mate, Delhi's my guys. I can't go against Delhi. As much as my head is telling me that Mumbai Indians are probably the favourites.
There you go.
I got to go with my heart, brother. I wear my heart on my sleeve. This is where I go. My whole career, I've done it. Heart on my sleeve. Delhi's my team. I love Delhi. I had the most fabulous time playing at Delhi. The Feroz Shah is one of my most perfect stadiums. Batting with Sehwag and having such a fun time at Delhi and just enjoying the whole atmosphere and the vibe and the special people of that beautiful city. And Kieran, one of the owners, a very close friend of mine. I'm just a Delhi dude.
And that's that. What an incredible season it has been, and we absolutely enjoyed bringing this to you. Do make sure you subscribe to the podcast and share it with your friends, because you can be sure that we will be bringing you so much of this and more in 2021 as we march towards yet another season of cricketing action. My name is Sumedhh. It's been a pleasure to produce and present the cricketnews.com podcast. Here's wishing you happy holidays and a happy new year. Stay safe, stay healthy.